जय हिंद, जय भारत, and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi. सुबह सुबह उठते साथ we've heard an update that Iran has hit Israel. As a matter of fact, काफी details आ रहे हैं उसके क्या क्या हुआ है. मैं आपके साथ थोड़ा सा शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. And of course, this situation is going to get a little more dangerous as the day progresses. क्योंकि किस तरह से Israel इसको respond करेगा, क्या होगा इस जगह में आगे, we will try and assess. And of course, we will also cover it during the day. बट सबसे पहले देखें जरा हुआ क्या है. कल रात को रिपोर्ट्स आई कि भाई ईरान हैज लॉन्च्ड a huge strike on Israel. The strike consisted of basically the first wave that went across. कि साहब, the first wave that went across, that was drones. So drone से basically what they wanted, ईरान को क्या चाहिए था कि इजरायली जो एयर डिफेंसेस हैं उनको किसी तरह से सैचुरेट किया जाए. जैसी सैचुरेट हो उसके बाद उनकी ballistic missiles and उनकी cruise missiles came in, and total numbers some people are saying are between about 110 to 200 missiles and drones that have been fired on Israel कल रात को. Now there are multiple angles of this. किस जगह पे hit हुआ है, क्या हुआ है, we will try and assess right now. And also थोड़ी देर में मेरे दोस्त जो इजराइल के हैं, Gabriel, he will also join in for a short comment as to क्या ground situation, क्या ground analysis उनका बनता है, and what does he see on the ground. So we will hear from him also. So I've just sent him the link. He should be joining in. But अभी तक let's see the rocket and drone attacks हुए हैं. Quantum is very high. The idea of actually sending a high quantum is basically खूब सारे drones जाएंगे, उनकी air defenses को saturate करेंगे, and then what will happen is the round of cruise missiles and the ballistic missiles should be coming in. Idea क्या था इनका, to basically hit two sides. एक तो नॉर्थ में एक गोलन हाइट्स के पास एक बेस की तरफ हिट करने की कोशिश करी है, एंड साउथ में देव ट्राई टू हिट अ बेस कॉल्ड रामोन. allegedly that is the base जहां से इजरायलीज ने टेक ऑफ किया था टू हिट द सीरियन कैपिटल, जहां पर इरानियन एम्बेसी पे अटैक हुआ था. This is a very very dangerous situation, guys. So it's something that we need to consider and we need to keep a track of, because अगर ये चीज goes out of control, the entire region will fly off. And let me just tell you, आपके और हमारी गाड़ी में पेट्रोल डालने के लिए हमको ज्यादा पैसे देने पड़ेंगे. सो अराइवल टाइम्स हुआ क्या, देखिए मैं आपको बताता हूँ. अगर आप ईरान और इसराइल के बीच में डिस्टेंस देखेंगे, वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट यू विल रियलाइज इज दैट the time gap जो चाहिए for these things to fly across. The first thing that I want to tell you is ballistic missiles will take about 12 to 13 minutes. Cruise missiles will take about 2 hours. And of course, UAVs, which are these drones and stuff like that, will take up to about 6 to 9 hours to reach Israel. So पहले इन लोगों ने drones launch करे, उसके बाद then they followed up with the missiles. Then the cruise missiles went in, and then the ballistic missiles went in. So that is something that they've planned. Very interesting, क्योंकि इसके अंदर काफी region involved है. Iran and Israel don't have a border. They have to fly over various different countries, Iraq, Jordan. Some of them, if in the north, they would have had to fly over Syria. So काफी इसमें tensions है. मैं आपको बताऊं कि इस एरिया की एयर स्पेस हैज बीन क्लोज्ड. अ लॉट ऑफ एयरलाइंस आर डाइवर्टिंग देयर फ्लाइट्स गोइंग द अदर डायरेक्शन, इंक्लूडिंग द इंडियन एयर इंडिया. इसकी रिपोर्ट्स आ चुकी हैं. ऑल देयर वर फ्लाइट्स फ्रॉम विस्तारा, देयर वर फ्लाइट्स फ्रॉम इंडिगो, जिनकी रिपोर्ट्स आई हैं कि दे हैव ऑल डाइवर्टेड फ्रॉम द रीजन. एज अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट, इराक ने अपनी मिलिट्री को पूरी तरह से हाई अलर्ट में डाला है, एंड इट इज ऑल्सो क्लोज्ड इट्स एयर स्पेस. Iran has suspended all commercial flights over its capital and some parts of its airspace as well. इसराइल की वॉर कैबिनेट बैठी है इस टाइम पे मीटिंग के लिए, और इस टाइम के ये भी रिपोर्ट्स आ रही हैं कि नेतन्याहू और बाइडेन के ऑलरेडी फोन कॉल्स आ चुके हैं. रिएक्शन फ्रॉम द वेस्ट मैं आपको बताऊंगा एज वी गो फॉरवर्ड. Okay, one second. Gabriel has also joined us, so let me just get him in, and then we will talk forward further. Okay, Gabriel, you need to switch on your camera and unmute yourself here. All right, so by the time he fixes his system up, let me just go forward. Biden, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि नेतन्याहू के साथ बाइडेन का एक फोन कॉल हो चुका है, and what they've said is that ironclad support will be given to Israel. We will defend Israel. That is a statement which has come across. लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं एक fear तो रहेगा अमेरिकन्स के अंदर कि how far will they be able to actually take this battle? How far will they be able to actually fight it? Gabriel, आपका सिस्टम एक बार. Fantastic. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're safe. सबसे पहले तो
We are happy. You can see the smile on my face.
Fantastic. So I was just giving people an update. Let me just finish that. I'll take your comments after that, and you can join in to the updates and add stuff if you actually get things. If I'm actually going here and there, so please join in. Biden obviously is sitting in the situation room. काफी अपनी allies के साथ बातें कर रहे हैं, and these are the reports which are coming out. America has of course said that they will support Israel. My question, which is what is dangerous in this time, is Straits of Hormuz. Will that be closed or not? क्योंकि Iranians ने कल एक ship seize करा है which was coming out of UAE with 17 Indian sailors on board. As a matter of fact, Indian government ने already ईरान के साथ बात करी है to boss, this needs to get sorted out, and Iranians have assured Indian governments कि भैया हम आपके साथ कुछ नहीं है, we will release these guys very soon. Now, there are certain reports which are saying British, American, Israeli, Jordanian, Saudi air forces have intercepted these missiles on Jordanian and Iraqi airspace. As a matter of fact, some of them have been shot down as well. So the confirmed report is that the Britishers are flying out of Cyprus. The Americans are flying out of what do you call their aircraft carrier Eisenhower, which is very close to Israel at the moment. ईरान ने बोला है कि भाई हम लोग किसी भी कंट्री को टारगेट करेंगे जो एयर स्पेस खोलेगा इसराइल के रिटेलिएशन के लिए. तो दैट मींस ईरान इज एक्सपेक्टिंग सम सॉर्ट ऑफ अ रिटेलिएशन. उनको पता तो होगा कि इजरायलीज विल नॉट लेट देम बी, एंड वी विल गेट Gabriel's response on that as well. Some of the Iranian missiles have failed, right? And these are confirmed reports. One odd has actually fallen in the West Bank as well. Okay. As a matter of fact, there are some which has fallen in Jordan, one odd which has fallen in Iraq. A drone, it seems, has fallen in Jordan somewhere where a child has got injured, and that is something which is confirmed. And इसमें मैं एक ही छोटा सा कमेंट दूंगा, चाइनीज माल है, चल गया तो चांद तक वरना शाम तक. So that is something that we need to understand. Please remember, the Iranian technology is largely Chinese. नाम वाम चेंज करके वो काफी कुछ इन लोगों ने करा है, but Iran does have its own systems as well. A lot of the cruise and ballistic missiles are taken older generation Chinese missiles. So that's something that we need to understand. Iran ने जो statement दिया है, it says conducted on the strength of Article 51 of the UN Charter pertaining to legitimate defense of Iran's military action was in response to the Zionist regime's aggression against our diplomatic premises in Damascus. The matter can be deemed concluded. ये स्टेटमेंट उन्होंने अभी ऑलरेडी यूएन को दे दिया. इसका मतलब क्या है, भैया हमको जो करना था हमने कर लिया, हमारी तरफ से ये गेम हम आगे नहीं जाना चाह रहे. तो ये चीज अगर आप याद करें, हम डेफ टॉक्स में कितने टाइम से बात कर रहे हैं कि ईरान फाइंड्स इटसेल्फ इन अ बिट ऑफ अ कनंड्रम, क्योंकि अगर वो हिट करे इट कैन हैव अ वॉर, एंड वी आल्सो नो देयर इज अ सेकंड फ्रंट ओपनिंग अप फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान really hard. Every damn day there is a Jaishul Adal attack which is happening in Pakistan, in Iran. So I don't think the Iranians would be wanting to escalate this. IDF के spokesperson Rear Admiral Hagari has said more than 200 drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles were fired from Iran. Most of these threats were intercepted outside Israeli airspace. And as a matter of fact, अभी मैं Gabriel से फोन पे बात कर रहा था, उन्होंने बताया कि Al-Aqsa Mosque के ऊपर interceptions हुई हैं. So these guys really need to think what they're doing. And Al-Aqsa Mosque is not a small thing. Yeah, it's a historical building. If anything hits on it, the entire Islamic world will be up in arms, and that could create a huge escalation. Reactions UK, Germany say already aa gaye hain. Saudi is saying please calm down. Jordan declares a state of emergency. Attacks from Lebanon have happened. Gabriel, would you be able to confirm wahan se north se bhi kuch missiles fire hui hain towards
Yes.
these guys have done. बड़े सवाल हैं यार कि what will Biden do, what will Israel do, which is something that we will ask Gabriel. And the last thing that I want to say is that if देखिए, one of the biggest things that we need to understand, if Israel reacts, ठीक है, what will happen? Iran will play a victim card and किसी तरह से वो कुछ थोड़ी सी sympathy gain करने की कोशिश करेगा, which I feel is going to happen going forward because Israelis will react. दूसरा मेरे को जो दिखता है कि if they are able to deter Israel, saying कि भाई देखो हमने मार दिया, हमने ठोक दिया, that will also enrage a lot of anti-Israel sentiment within the Muslim world. और ये जो Islamic world के अंदर इस टाइम पे peace and stability की बात चल रही है between Israel and the rest of the world except for Iran, कहीं ना कहीं that will start getting damaged quite a bit. So this is a very dangerous situation, guys. It's not a simple thing, and we've been talking for a long time. As a matter of fact, Iran ने बहुत सोच समझ के कुछ किया होगा. Considering the retaliation क्या आ सकता है, I don't know what the ladder of escalation किस तरफ Israel जाएगा, and let's see what's going to happen. So Gabriel, namaskar, welcome. I hope you're safe and sound, and sorry to
Namaste.
have this huge attack on your country. Please tell us what is happening.
First of all, thank you for your concern. To all our Indian brothers, thank you, Adi, too. We are happy. Today is the 189th day of the
Hmm.
war. That means yesterday it was 188th. And suddenly at 9:30, that means Israel is 2.5 hours behind India, 12 hours, 12 o'clock in Indian time. Suddenly, things went for a spiral. Suddenly, the Jordanians closed their airspace. They were the first. And then Israel closed their airspace. They said we have 1 hour for each aircraft incoming to land, and other aircrafts which are on their way were sent back. So we came to know
There's a
that something
breaking
is.
update. There's a breaking update as per what you're saying. Pentagon was aware of the Iranian attack. As a matter of fact,
So I was
Pentagon
coming
was
to
aware
that.
of the.
Yeah,
There's an
but
update which has come from Sky News Arabia that boss Pentagon was aware, and as a matter of fact warned the countries in the region, boss, this is going to happen, and that's one of the reasons that we realize itni sari interceptions already ho chuki hain.
so I
Please.
will add to that that Israel and the United States knew the timing and the place from where this attack will be launched. So they must be in a dilemma to pre-attempt it or to let Iran go for it. And with me saying that we are happy, that means we knew that Iran will fall for the bait. When Iran launched this attack, they had miscalculated that the tactical difference between the United States and Israel about the ongoing war in Gaza means that the United States has left Israel to be alone. And
Hmm.
they didn't know that when Biden said these words, don't, when the United States president draws a red line, you will not cross it. So both of them knew, we knew. And then suddenly I gave Adi, I think it was after 12:30 or something, I sent you a message that things are going for a downward spiral. That means in India, in Israel, sorry, we come to know when things are getting hot, and we knew then suddenly they said there are reports that drones and UAVs are unmanned vehicles. They can be fitted with explosives, or they can be fitted with missiles which can fire from afar. The good thing is that it takes about 8 hours for these things to cross through Iraq and through Jordan and then come to Israel. That means ample time for Israel and the allies, if we can believe Jordan too and Saudi, everyone was ready to intercept these missiles. And the Iranians didn't care to use Jordanian
Hmm.
airspace. That means
Jordanian,
Jordan
Iraqi,
self
and Syria.
Iraqi is in you can say that they're in bed with the Iranians. Okay, no self-respecting country will allow another country to send missiles or anything threatening that country through the airspace. And that means that there are reports that one fell in Amman. But the Iranians are very angry with Jordan because there are reports that Jordan too sent planes. They had closed their airspace. That means everything which was in the sky was intercepted. And
Hmm.
then about 100 of these, from these 200, which were intercepted in Iraq itself by the Americans and by early reports like with the refueling aircrafts by Israel and the United States together, and planes flying out of Cyprus of British Air Force.
Hmm.
So everyone was having a good time for this uh, intercepting duck hunting, we call it. And we are very happy in Israel because we have a multi-layered defense system in Israel.
Air defense. Hmm.
Okay,
A lot of
at least
videos are
four,
coming out of shoot downs. Lot of videos are there of shoot downs. And another
of
breaking news
course.
coming in that India has issued a statement saying that we are seriously concerned at the escalation of hostilities between Israel and Iran, which threatens the peace and security in the region. We call for immediate de-escalation, exercise of restraint, stepping back from violence, and return to the path of diplomacy. We are closely monitoring the evolving situation. Our embassies in the region are closely in touch with the Indian community. It's vital that security and stability are maintained in the region. This is a statement अभी सुबह सुबह MEA से, भारत की MEA से already आ चुका है.
In Israel proper, last Friday, children had left for holidays, a 2 week
Hmm.
long holiday, which because next week it's Passover. Next Monday,
Hmm. Hmm.
Passover will be celebrated in Israel.
Hmm.
So children are at home, and suddenly the Home Front Command, where Hagari is the spokesperson, he said that Israeli children tomorrow will not have no special classes, no
Yeah,
this.
they've
So
closed
in
schools.
Israel, we come
Hmm.
to know these are telltale signs that something is brewing, and then suddenly there were reports that it's about 6 hours for these vehicles to reach Israel. So we had time, and then suddenly the second wave at 3 o'clock Israeli time. That means 5:30 Indian time. They the whole of North Israel and South Israel. That means all Israeli bases in the Golan and all Israeli bases in the south, including the so-called, I will not go for censorship, right? Like textile company, which late Simon Peres had called it.
I think let's leave
Okay,
it at that.
so they were targeting these areas. All these places had sirens, and I would like to correct you, Adi. It was a 10-year-old girl in the Bedouins in south of Israel. She was seriously injured. She was taken to hospital in a serious
Mm-hmm.
condition. She was hit by
Mm-hmm.
shrapnel. But
Mm-hmm.
I will repeat, our air defenses had taken care of at least 99.9 of these missiles, which were the first wave was of UAVs and drones. Second wave included
Cruise
this
missiles,
cruise missiles, and the third wave had ballistic
ballistics.
missiles. So if one who is in the army should know that it's very different for each and every threat to be dealt with in interception. It's very easy to hit UAVs, but you cannot know where it's going to, where its target is.
Mm.
So in Israel, suddenly they put off all the GPS. No
Yeah.
GPS was working
Mm.
because these vehicles they need GPS to hit the target precisely. And we were told that be ready that all GPS will fall in. Now Israel, when that humanitarian in Syria was hit, 2 days after that, suddenly at ports and area sensitive places in Tel Aviv especially, people were seeing that the GPS were not working. And we had two choices, two things to say. It may be the Iranians or Hezbollah, and suddenly it came out it was Israel.
Mm.
We were preparing for this attack and we were jamming our GPS systems in the country.
Because the
So
drones
we are
use
happy.
GPS to hit. There is an
We
update which is
Israelis,
coming across. There is a small fire, not small, decently large fire in your Negev airbase in the desert. I don't know the name of the airbase, but there is a bit of a
Ufda,
challenge there. But I see your firefighting equipment is already there, and kind of they're fighting that entire thing. And there are massive celebrations that have erupted in Iran, in Tehran, in the streets. People are jumping around. I don't know for how long. That is a different story. But they are celebrating right now,
so
and that's something. Okay, there's another wave of
I,
about 80
I'll give you
drones, which
update
is
about Iran.
hmm,
Iran, yesterday they were showing on social network that there are big queues for the petrol
yeah,
by
yeah,
vehicles there.
yeah,
That means cyber war was always going on between Israel and India.
yeah, yeah.
Israel and Iran.
Hmm,
And we have a lot of targets. First can be those nuclear sites in Iran. This is the
correct.
time for Israel to get rid once and for all those sites. It will not be a walkover. It will not be 100%, but we can damage those. Second, Iranian economy is based on oil, on fuel. If we hit those wells, Iranian wells, like they did to Saudi Arabia, if you remember a few
यार
years ago,
एनवायरनमेंट वाले पीछे पड़ जाएंगे आपके.
environment, and even the United States last time had asked by when Bennett was the prime minister, they had asked Bennett to refrain from attacking these sites because it creates a problem for world economy. Fuel
Yeah.
prices go up.
Yeah.
So we have another big oil pipeline coming from Muscat in Oman because they wanted
Hmm.
to bypass that this in that what we call that. I
That
cannot get the name.
straight which is there, na?
Yeah, this straits here. So they wanted to bypass through Oman. If we hit that also, we have a lot of strategic. This Israel will respond. Israel has to respond. And what they did, another miscalculation. We were in Israel very frustrated. We were seeing the world was going against us
Hmm.
regarding Gaza and the casualties there, which Hamas was giving out the numbers. And
Hmm.
suddenly Iran is seeing today that United States, UK, France, Jordan, Saudi Arabia have chosen sides.
That was gonna happen right from the beginning, यार ये तो देखिए even
No, but
Biden's
now
whole
it's walk the talk. Now
yeah
it's
yeah
not
even
even walk the
Biden's
talk because there was no
e-
talk. Suddenly,
even
everyone has chosen their sides,
hmm,
and Iran
even
knows they
Biden's hard
miscalculated what.
words yeah
Yeah,
even Biden ने जो hard words बोले थे no Israel should not have done this to the Syrian embassy ये वो and all that stuff they said all that stuff but in 3 days later they said we are steadfast behind Israel. So that was basically a positioning saying ki, no, we don't appreciate this. When the matter calmed down a little bit, they came back and said the same thing. As a matter of fact, they positioned their aircraft carrier right outside your coast. It's about
yes,
100
in
miles
the
out of
south,
yeah.
Ladelat, near Eilat.
It's it's about 100 miles out of your coast. So that's something
Adi,
which is there.
the second the commander of the United States Central Command was in Israel
Is
last
in
Thursday,
Israel. Hmm.
and yesterday he left early evening, and he was in one of those countries surrounding Israel. I cannot say which country, and he was here. We were coordinating our response, even in defense and in offense.
Hmm.
So now it's up to Israel how we take this with both hands because
Hmm.
last time when the world sympathy was with us, we messed it up with 6 months. That is another this that we are fighting a war which was never fought anywhere in this world history. Tunnels and different tactics with civilians, with mass propaganda against Israel. But if you get lemons, make lemonade. So Iran has given us because in Israel we call Iran the head of the octopus.
Yeah.
Instead of dealing with the tentacles like Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, the militias in Iraq, all these proxies, we will go for the head. This is the opportunity for Israel to go for the head of the octopus. If we can topple that regime there, because there are forces in Iran which are waiting for this opportunity to topple this. And as I said, it's Passover next month. And if people know the Bible, when Pharaoh wanted to release the Jews, the Hebrews in Egypt, God hardened his heart. He said no. It was against all wisdom, and he said no, and then he suffered those 10 strikes which he got, 10 plagues on Egypt. We Jews are seeing it in the same context, historical and biblical. This is the time to hit Iran and get rid once and for all of this menace.
There's a huge
So,
statement which has come out of Antony Blinken, by the way. You will be very happy with this. He says Iran has always used and focused its funds on terrorism, supporting groups like Hamas. Ouch. When they have been sanctions and when they have also not been sanctions, they've been supporting this. And we do not accept these kind of activities. This is a statement which has come out just about 7 minutes ago from Antony Blinken. So things are
Adi, the
going
ball
a
is in
little.
Israel's court. The
Hmm.
ball is now in Israel's court.
Hmm.
Okay? They've tried, like if you remember Rocky, the film, okay? What he said, the one who knows to take in the punches and stand and then give the opponent punches, this is Israel.
Hmm. Hmm.
but they miscalculated Israel's response, Israel's friendship with the United States. And there is a letter they have sent that the United States, in capital letters, they have said the United States keep out. That means they didn't think the United States would come in because Biden, they saw him as a weak president. Now Biden also has to show that a red line has been crossed. At least let Israel hit back. So it is in our
There is
court. The response which
Hmm.
we are getting from our government is that it will not be proportionate because this is a time for Israel to get rid of, as I said, the head of the octopus. Tentacles, we will start. We keep fighting for years. But if we get rid of this regime there, at least those fangs, poisonous fangs, that are the nuclear sites, or the economy, this is a golden opportunity for us. We
Yeah,
Israelis,
absolutely.
as citizens, we are very happy because we are saying this is a time, all gloves are off, all bets are off. It is to for Israel to show of what metal we are made of. So
Hmm.
yesterday we had thunder in Israeli skies because we heard the intercepts. Sometimes they are with 40 kilo explosives. Sometimes they are with 150 kilos of explosives in those missiles. So we heard them. But now it's time for Iran to hear from Israel.
As a matter of fact, there is another update which has come. Biden Saab has given a statement earlier today. Iran and its proxies operating out of Yemen, Syria, and Iraq, as well as Iran, have launched unprecedented air attack against military facilities in Israel. I condemn these attacks in the strongest possible term. At my direction to support the defense of Israel, the US military moved aircraft and ballistic missile defense destroyers to the region over the course of the past week. That's the mistake the Iranians made. They waited too long. If they wanted to do something, they could have done it right there. Oh नहीं हम रमादान के बाद करेंगे हम ईद के बाद क्या यार. I mean,
No,
anyways, what he says, let me just finish this. After that, I'll take your reaction. At my direction to support the defense of Israel, the US military moved aircraft and ballistic missile defense destroyers to the region over the course of the past week. Thanks to these deployments and the extraordinary skill of our service members, we helped Israel to take down nearly all of the incoming drones and missiles. Official statement from Biden. I've just spoken with Prime Minister Netanyahu to reaffirm America's ironclad commitment to the security of Israel. I told him that Israel demonstrated remarkable capacity to defend against and defeat even unprecedented attacks, sending a clear message to its foes that it cannot effectively threaten the security of Israel. Tomorrow, I will convene my fellow G7 leaders to coordinate a united diplomatic response to Iran's brazen attack. My team will engage their counterparts across in the region, and we will stay in close touch with Israel's leader. And while we have not seen attacks on our forces or facilities, we will remain vigilant to all threats and will not hesitate to take necessary action to protect our people. This is basically a declaration saying अभी ईरान को ये isolate करने वाले हैं. And Gabriel Saab, this is something I had said about a week ago that this is going to happen. As a matter of fact, with you, when we were conversing somewhere in October, November, you and I had both agreed Iran is next on the menu. And that thing is literally coming across. So one can
even
actually see this pattern opening up. Yeah.
Rishi Sunak also has condemned.
Yeah.
There's a statement by him also.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
condemned
Uh,
Iran.
even Germany has done it.
Yeah, they made a mistake. Now they are seeing that Israel is been embraced again by these countries again.
Hmm.
Because I'm telling you, in the mood in Israel was the world is again against us. After 7th of October, suddenly we were finding ourselves like everyone was like not agreeing with us. We should enter Gaza. No, now this is the opportunity for Israel to do whatever it can and do it fast. But we will have to deal with, as I told you, first with the head of the octopus. We have to crush this head
Yep.
because those humanitarians who were in that building there, it was not even an embassy, as you said. It was not an embassy in Syria, which we had attacked. It was not even the consulate. It was a building in between. That means that was an intelligence building used by the intelligence of Syria and Iran, and they were not coordinating their humanitarian aid for famine-ridden countries. They were planning attacks against Israel. It was not that
Hmm.
early morning Bibi Netanyahu or the chief of the army woke up and said, "Okay, we'll go for this building," with the generals inside. These generals were properly against working against Israel. They were planning attacks, and Iran knows it. Everyone knows it in the intelligence business that they had no business to fight Israel. So now the ball is squarely in our court. Response will be disproportionate. For what we will go for the jugular of Iran, the economy, the nuclear sites especially, we will go for them alone or with the United States.
You know, one other thing which I can see happening is basically okay, by the way, Australia is also condemned. There's a statement from Australia. We condemn the violence and escalation which has recently happened. Blah blah blah. We urge everybody to calm down. Basically, that's what they've also said. Okay, reports indicate Iran launched 185 drones, 110 surface to surface missiles, 36 cruise missiles, and about 14 ballistic missiles. That is what is one of the reports is saying this. I see, guys, these are all first reactions. But yeah, about 200 is something which a lot of people are saying 200 is the number. So this thing kind of fits into that game as well. But you know, one thing I want to talk about is basically, you know, the reaction from the Islamic world. We will see a hard reaction coming across from certain countries. We will see a very mute sort of a reaction coming across from certain countries. It will be interesting to see कि भाई किस तरह से how does the Islamic world kind of react to this entire game, because and this, I won't say Islamic world, I would say the Islamic street, how does it react, because the street power is something which can be exuded and put a lot of pressure on. I don't think it will happen in Saudi or Dubai, but countries like Kuwait, countries like Iraq, countries like Syria, countries like Jordan, you know, there could be some issues, of course Egypt, there could be some issues that Israel might have to kind of look at very very carefully. Russia and China at the moment have not said anything, and I think by targeting Iran, I would be really happy, because one of the things that you will see is China will kind of start getting rolled back from the region. That's something, if you guys, all of you guys who follow me, I have been saying this for the past 2 weeks. And this incident which has happened is another icing on the cake that I've been kind of making, that boss, Russia has been looking that side now. As a matter of fact, there's a statement from Ukrainian, by the way, Ukrainians have come out and said, yaar, Americans are defending Israel for the Shahid drones. जब शहीद साले हमारे सिर पे गिरते हैं, अमेरिकन कहीं नहीं आते यहाँ पर तो वो साले वो परेशान हो रहे हैं, ठीक है तो
If you would have
एक बड़ा
asked me, Adi, if you would have asked me before, I'd have told you there was a dialogue in Indian movies. पुलिस के
हम्म,
साथ दुश्मनी ना दोस्ती अच्छी. I would have
हम्म,
said it same about the United States.
yeah, Henry Kissinger said it.
Okay, you cannot be friends or enemies with the United States. Keep your distance from them.
Yeah.
Israel, we depend on them now, and that's what want to tell the Indian audience.
Hmm.
Make in India, which your prime minister has started, learn from us, because Israel, suddenly we found ourselves dependent on the United States for ammunition, especially those artillery shells, 155 millimeter bombs, special munitions. And when India, a few years ago, they started this, that means what a foresight by your prime minister to say that we will make in India. We will not depend on any other nation. Israel made that mistake of depending on the United
US.
States. Now we are keeping a close eye on two countries, Adi, from here in Israel. First one is Hezbollah, because most damage will
Lebanon.
be made
Hmm.
for Israel is from Hezbollah, not for Iran.
Hmm.
ईरान को हम निपट लेंगे. Hezbollah is very close on our borders. It
Yep.
will be deadly. It will be painful. And second nation which we are keeping an eye on is Jordan, because the Iranians want to topple the king, and they will have a corridor from Iran, Iraq to Jordan to our borders on the Dead Sea. They can
One
land
thing
themselves. They have tried. We have intercepted a
yeah,
lot of ammunitions coming, this smugglings of arms from the Jordanian border. for the last 2 or so months. So Israel knows that the south, the north, where they used to smuggle the arms, or from Rafah, are closed. Okay, Philadelphia, the Egyptians, because of the economy from the Red Sea, which is closed, the Suez Canal is getting hit economically. Second, they are trying from Jordan. They want to topple the king, and they have threatened the king openly
Mhm.
because he helped intercept a lot of these missiles in his airspace. So the
Mm.
Jordanian king showed his hand to Iran, but that is a self-respecting country. You cannot throw bombs or other things through another nation's airspace.
That's true.
And the
One more.
capital Amman was it?
Yeah, one more interesting thing, I think you've kind of hinted on it. मैं थोड़ा सा I would want to open it out a little more. Is that you have right now withdrawn a lot of forces from Gaza, and there is a armored battalion which is actually doing practice for preventive invasion of Lebanon, which we know in the northern area there is a full armored battalion which is doing that. There is also some forces that have been redeployed into the Golan Heights. There have also been some forces that have been deployed towards the Egyptian side. I don't know why towards that side. Probably some proxies. Like the last time, there were some guys who actually sneaked in from the Egyptian side, so that could be the case. So this is something that could escalate into a wider conflict, and I think it's something which the Israelis will have to look at very carefully. Because it is the three front which is similar to what 67 kind of happened.
See, the withdrawal from Gaza, I can tell you one thing. It is a tactical decision
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because forces were fighting 6 months straight in
Mhm,
Gaza.
mhm.
Okay, equipment, even your computer needs rest. So vehicles, armored vehicles, tanks, everything needs to be in place. We had in that Shifa hospital about 800 plus terrorists we had captured. So we have to process that information because the last remaining stronghold of Hamas with 4 brigades in Rafah, they have ample time
Yeah. Mhm.
to accept that attack from us. We have hostages there. So Israel withdrew these forces, and each and every person, even I know a few officers there, they said, see, we have come out to rest, go to our families, because these are regular forces. That means conscript soldiers for 3 years, young soldiers from the age of 18 to 21. They will then again enter Rafah, and we were waiting for Rafah. But if I know my country, Israel was provoking a war with Hezbollah because it was high time. We wanted to finish it. We want to get rid of all these things once and for all because Israel cannot go for a war of attrition.
Yeah.
Okay, the economy suffers, they get
Population, yeah.
emboldened. Last time when we were speaking, I told you, when your enemy gets emboldened, they have no care to climb those ladders like Iran has done now. They
Mm.
miscalculated. They miscalculated that the world will form itself around Israel now. Suddenly, they have found themselves with the sane world, the Western world, standing with Israel again. And I emphasize again, because in Israel, we were very frustrated that the United States, UK was speaking about an arms boycott on Israel. From that, suddenly Israel has become the front to fight this evil, which is known as Iran, which has Islamic ideology. They don't care. They don't care for lives, this regime, not even their own who stand against them, and especially kafirs. So now the Western world knows that Israel will be fighting this fight for them with Iran because Iran was using all this money which Obama gave them, which he opened up, the sanctions. All that money was used, which even Biden opened the sanctions, was used by Iran to fight and give the proxies. So now there are two options, as I said. We will go for the nuclear sites It will be not 100%, but we have to damage them. We have to
Yeah.
get them back. This is the opportunity. Second, economy of Iran, those oil fields. How much the world will suffer and will tell us not to refrain from that is up to
Not, not
Biden and
much. Not
Bibi.
much. Not much. Not much. Because
Fuel
the
prices will go
Iranian
up. Fuel prices will
Iranian
go up.
see the Iranian supplies is about 5 million barrels. Okay, 4 million of it goes to
But
China, and
they
about
can stop the
50.
Straits of Hormuz.
Yeah, that's the
Straits of
point.
Hormuz.
That's the
Okay,
point. That's the point.
that will be their target. And third, we will go to, for the best option will be to topple this regime,
Hmm.
get them off, and suddenly you will see, like in Libya when Gaddafi was off, you saw the. But here this will be good because Libya went for a downward spiral without Gaddafi. But here
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
mullahs in Iran, they don't care for the end of the world. They are waiting for the end of the world. If people know what these mullahs are planning, they know that they are waiting for the end of times.
Hmm. Hmm.
We are lucky that they didn't become nuclear. We have information it was another 2 months or 3 months, they have crossed the threshold of nuclear capability.
One of
They
the
may be
things
having a
that's
dirty bomb, they may be having
yeah.
something, but they have to
Hmm.
take into consideration now, Adi, because we have proved ourselves that air defense can get those punches. Now, what does Iran have to defend itself from our punches? S-300.
I don't know what
Okay,
Chinese have
Israel has
given
the
them.
best
I don't
defense.
know. Yeah.
We have an outer atmosphere defense, which is known as the arrow.
Hmm.
Then comes another level, which
Patriot.
is the David Sling and Magic Wand
Hmm.
missiles. Then comes Patriots. If you remember the first Gulf War, Patriots were used. We have that level. Fourth, we have the Iron Dome. Yesterday in the night, Iron Dome was dealing with those which got through all those defenses because no defense is 100%. So Iron Dome created its magic, and I can say 99.9. But as you said, there are bases which were hit. We were prepared for it. Thank God, and don't see any other channel in India who is saying that Israel has lost, God forbid, 2020. I'm hearing Hindi channels in India.
How much?
Each day they are saying, each day before this, they were saying Israel is losing at least 12. I will not take the name of those channels, but they were like saying Dizengoff Center in Midtown Tel Aviv is full of tanks and barricaded. Jhoot pe jhoot.
Hmm. Hmm.
All
Nahi,
propaganda.
they get their inputs
Yes, I know they
from
get,
Western
but I'm
sources.
saying don't listen to. I wanted Adi to tell you that sources like your channel, are the best to hear what is going about Israel, especially Israel. You are the expert on China.
So two more updates that have come. Israel has called for an emergency meeting of the Security Council first thing in the morning today. As a matter of fact, John Bolton, we all know who he is.
The last,
He has said that Israel
uh,
should strike Iran's nuclear facilities in response to today's attacks. And of course, 3 Jordanians have been reported dead after missile debris fell on Jordan's capital, Amman. That's something that I had said. मेरे पास जो report थी of one child being killed. Now there are 3 people that have been killed, ki bhai, which has happened in Amman as well. Guys, this is going to escalate. We will keep in touch with Gabriel as well. थोड़े से questions हैं हमारे हमारे audience से. Let's take a couple of questions. We'll also build up on what we have to say, and we'll probably get you back in the day, or probably in the day tomorrow, to kind of get your reaction as well. uh Firstly, guys, so please, yeah, like, subscribe, share these videos. This is the first reaction coming from Israel, and of all the input, as a matter of fact, you can make out very clearly all the input that I've given you is double verified. I've been sitting since 5:30 in the morning for the past almost 2.5 3 hours, trying to get the same input from multiple sources to kind of verify this entire thing. I don't want to put out anything which is rumor mongering, right? Wherever I did have confirmed reports, I've told you this. Uh, just to recap, two major areas in Israel have been hit. One is the north, as per what confirmation I got from Gabriel as well. One in the north towards the Golan, and one in the south
Negev.
towards the Ramon, air base. There
In
has
the
been a
Negev
little bit of a,
desert.
yeah, in the Negev desert. The target was, of course, the Ramon air base, where allegedly Israelis flew off with their F-35s when they hit the Iranian embassy, the Iranian embassy in Syria, the building next to the Iranian embassy in Syria. So that was the target. 200 plus drones, missiles, and cruise missiles have been fired. A lot have been intercepted. Of course, koi uh, confirmation. Of course, it is very difficult to kind of how much has been intercepted, how many fell, and this and that. देखिए, whatever said and done, there has been an attack. There will be damage in Israel. So let's not say कि भैया Israel is going to come out scot free. There will be damage. People will get hurt. There will be fires. There will be all that stuff. And furthermore, anything that Israelis will do, there will be retaliation as well, right? So this area and this place is going to be tensed up to a large extent. We need to kind of keep a track of what is happening. And on that note, guys, please like, share, subscribe the video, and of course, yes, please share this with your friends and family so that we all know what exactly is happening on the ground. Shashank ji, thank you for becoming a member. Sudipta Patraji says, "Is this the beginning of World War III?" Well, I think the World War III is already on, but it is not the way it was in the Second World War. वो छोटी छोटी अपनी इधर उधर चल रही हैं, बट अदरवाइज कुछ नहीं है. गेब्रियल तो बोल रहे हैं भैया नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, डोंट वरी, वी विल हैंडल इट. तो
Why,
इजरायलीज आर
as
वेरी
you said,
कॉन्फिडेंट.
Adi, you said it. Russia and China have not responded.
They're gonna say भैया.
That is a telltale sign.
Yeah. The point is, which the place that I am worried about is Syria. Why? Because Americans are there, you guys are there, Russians are there, right? So there is a bit of a tension in that area. And who else is there, I don't know, but there is a huge amount of huge amount of force structure which is already there within Syria. That's the place that I'm worried about. It could kind of escalate within Syria as well, and it could kind of create a whole new set of issues within that region. So that is there. Okay, Anvesh ji, thank you so much. Says Adi, do you think nuclear attack would be the ultimate consequence of an isolation process? Also, EM bomb is also not on off the book approach. Hail Gandhi, really? Okay, anyways. Hanji, what do you think? EM bomb?
No, no. It will be
Conventional.
before the nuclear option, but it will not come to that. Israel will
Mm-hmm.
not use anything which has not been used before, because we don't want to create a precedent, because China has this, and God forbid if they give it to Iran, it can come against us. So it's now in the same method which they have used, but a little bit more force. That is
Yeah,
what
and you guys still
Israel
don't
is.
officially confirm you have nukes, yeah. So what will you use? You can't use the
No,
nukes.
that
You
is a
don't have
textile
nukes.
mill. That is a
You
textile
don't have
factory.
nukes, yeah. What are you talking about?
No,
यार
no,
गेब्रियल कैसे कैसी बात कर रहे हो? ये आपके पास तो nukes है ही नहीं.
no.
But
They went for the
but
empty desert there in Dimona.
yeah. The point is that jokes apart, the point is that the nuclear escalation level is a little too far right now, right?
No,
Nuclear button will only be pressed uh, uh, when things get desperate, and I don't think the Israelis want the Iranians to get that desperate, and I don't think the Iranians want the Israelis to get that desperate, right? So that is something that I can very clearly and put my money on it. Ki bhai, I don't think it will go to that aspect at
it
all.
will be foolish of us. It will be foolish of us if we use that N bomb.
Mhm.
It will be very foolish. The world is
No,
with us now. We don't need to give them a reason.
yeah,
Israel needs the world. Sadly, we need the world on our side, especially the United States.
yeah. Sudipta once again says, "So will China and Russia get involved?" No, there will
No.
be some back end help that the Chinese will give Iranians for sure, but no.
I think the Chinese
Region
will try to stop this because their interests are getting hurt in the region, as you said, Adi.
because what will happen is the Americans, the first thing that they will do is blockade Iran's this thing and start boarding Iranian ships which are carrying oil. The minute that
Yes.
thing happens, China gets hurt really badly.
There
So
was a report that the Houthis also were hit by the United States yesterday.
yeah. Review Mukherjee ji, thank you so much. Creative Peeps, thanks for becoming a member. Mr. Gamer, what will happen to Netanyahu after the war ends? Thanks so much.
It's far away. And don't believe this about Netanyahu. Netanyahu is still strong. As you have a
Very.
toolkit in India, if you have a toolkit in India against Modi, the same thing is happening with Netanyahu here. I am
Hmm.
telling you, I'm on the ground here.
The
There are people
support
who are
is,
hating him.
yeah,
The
support
lefties,
is
they
there.
hate him.
Yeah, there are protests
But
also which are
when,
there.
Adi, as you know, in your country, in India, when you hate your prime minister more than you love your country, you have people like that. The same thing
Yeah,
is
yeah.
here. If then you ask people here who will go for Sinwar, Yahya Sinwar, to succeed and not Bibi Netanyahu. The hate is that much.
Hmm. Hmm. No, there's also the hate you can see yesterday that Indian American girl. एक तो ना I should not be
Yes,
calling that Indian American. I take that back, guys. My apologies. हाथ जोड़ के माफी मांगता हूँ. There is nothing Indian about that woman. She is an American person. ठीक है, वो दिखती हमारी
rat,
तरह है.
American
That does
rat.
not have any connection with us. I bloody disown people like this. ठीक है, she comes around and says we will murder you in your houses. ये मतलब ये कौन सी एजुकेशन है, कौन सा क्या है? आई हैव नो आइडिया। और इसके बारे में मैंने कल कल दोपहर में किया था। आई हैड कवर्ड रिद्धि पटेल इज अ नेम।
Yeah,
शेमफुल बिहेवियर, एब्सोल्युटली शेमफुल। अभिषेक जी कहते हैं बिगेस्ट कंफ्यूजन इन माय हेड इज वेदर रशिया विल टेक अ स्टैंड विद ईरान और इजराइल। दिस एक्शन विल हैव फर्दर कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस फॉर श्योर। आई थिंक दे विल स्टैंड आउटसाइड।
yeah, right.
व्हाट डू यू से?
I think Russia will also, like China, they have interest in the region here. They don't want a full-scale war. Everyone wants cool heads to prevail, but still, it will depend on Israel's response now. How much we are going to go in with Iran.
One of our
But I
friends
don't think Russia and China have any reason to
get
go against
involved.
Israel. They will condemn us. They will pass a few this in the UN. We are prepared for that.
uh, uh, Abhijit Iyer was there in Israel, but thankfully, I think he's come back. He's come back to India. So I'm sure Abhijit is one of a pretty popular geopolitical analyst, and he comes on the
I would
channel
love
as
to
well
host him
once
in my
twice a month.
house if he is
No,
stuck here.
he left. He left. As a matter of fact, I
He
got
left.
an update that yeah, he's come back to this thing. So we were all concerned because he was prancing around there. I thought, यार वहाँ पर वो बेचारे को कुछ ना हो जाए. Love thy neighbor. Thank you so much. Thank you for loving Israel. I love you, India.
Thank you.
I think this seems to be somebody from Israel itself. Problem, thank you for a very interesting question. He says, is it a face-saving tactical move, or is there a strategic purpose with a silent understanding with the other Ummah countries join in, considering Ummah is not cohesive? I don't think so.
Adi, in one of your last videos, you said that there can be a scenario which they can hit empty bases
Mhm.
and they will say we have safe space. But Israel cannot afford this because if Israel proper has been attacked by Iran, if we don't do
Got to respond.
anything, it will create a big problem for us. We didn't do this with Hamas. We thought they were deterred. We thought the snake is, we have taken out its fangs with Hamas. And we were so wrong. So we cannot afford to do this with the Iranians because each and every other anti-Israeli force will rise against us if we don't do anything.
Yeah, and the point is, guys, please take it like the factor that Pakistan does something like this. Would you want to keep quiet? Right, towards, I mean, whatever our relations with Iran is out of the game, but towards Israel and Iran, what is Iran does to Israel is the same what Pakistan does to us. So one something that we need to kind of look at it in that aspect, and then kind of understand how would you react to something like this if it happens to us. So this is something, this is a very clear, देखिए, although geopolitics is always very scratched and mixed up, but we need to look at it that ways. Supersonic Diesel, thanks so much, says, how likely is an invasion of Iran that will take place? It's a vast country and not easy to invade. No,
No.
nobody in the right mind will do that.
As I told you, we can hit those nuclear sites, economy
Mhm.
of Iran, or topple this regime. We have a
Yeah,
few options, but invasion is no, even the United States, it will be impossible.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Rivu Mukherjee ji, thank you so much for becoming a member. Is there a chance of USA using hard force against Iran
This is the
in the
million-dollar
oceans? Yes.
question with Biden.
Hmm. In
He's
the
in a
oceans, I think
election year.
something. Yeah, yeah.
No, but Adi, now they are saying that with Donald Trump breathing heavy on his neck, this is the opportunity for Biden to show that he is also strong.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was perceived in at least in the Middle East as a weak president, and
Hmm.
this was also miscalculation by Iran. They thought that United States will leave Israel alone. I was hearing so many broadcasters in India and around the world who were saying that Israel has been left alone by the United States, and suddenly everybody has come to see that they cannot afford. Even the United States cannot afford to leave Israel alone.
That won't happen. Always, the media narrative is always different than the real action. Rajbir, thank you so much. Love and support to the Israeli people.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely correct. Sachin Maliaji, thank you so much. Says, what is the mood of the Israeli people currently? Will there be a pressure on the Netanyahu government to respond or retaliate?
This is the mood. We are happy. Israel is happy that once and for all get rid of this
Mm,
evil. Netanyahu government, they cannot afford to not retaliate.
yeah.
Even the United States cannot tell us now not to retaliate, because
Mm.
only country in this world which could tell Israel what to do was the United States. And we were
That's
feeling alone. We were feeling alone all these 2 months. Rafa, 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 and the Israeli people were frustrated with Netanyahu, frustrated with the United States. This is the opportunity for Netanyahu to show that he's tough, because we Israelis feel Netanyahu is a good negotiator. He gives money, economics, everything, but he doesn't know how to fight a war. Suddenly, he was losing his base in Israel. Us, right, on the right, we were losing faith in this Netanyahu government, and it's the right government. It's a very right wing government. So Netanyahu cannot afford now. He has no future. I don't think he will be re-elected, but this is his time to earn his name in Israeli history
wings
as
back.
one who
Mm,
dealt with the Iranian nuclear evil.
correct. Saffron Man says sea route is dangerous. Inflation is going to rise. Yeah, inflation and oil
Yeah.
prices. Mm.
No need to panic in India still.
Yeah, we're okay. Don't worry about it. Does
No,
Pakistan get
fuel,
involved in this war?
fuel.
Nah, we are fine. We are fine. Don't worry. We're okay.
Yes, that's
Pakistan
it what
get
I'm
involved in
saying.
this war? This will be fun.
Let them be. It will be good for India if they get involved.
We are not
खाने
bothered,
को
boss.
खाने को चने नहीं और बंदूक
मैं
टांगे.
मैं सही में बोलूं, पूरा इलेक्शन चल रहा है इंडिया के अंदर. नो बडी टॉक्स अबाउट पाकिस्तान.
Irrelevant.
इट इज सो ब्लडी इरेलीवेंट. नो बडी केयर्स पाकिस्तान है कि नहीं है. ठीक है. वो द रीजन दैट वी टॉक अबाउट पाकिस्तान इज टेररिज्म. बाकी कुछ नहीं है. सुपरसोनिक डीजल वंस अगेन. इजराइल विल चैनल द इनर योगी. योगी जी मिट्टी में मिला देंगे. योगी जी का डायलॉग है ये.
We take an example, and you think Yogi also has taken an example with the bulldozers. We also destroy the houses of these terrorists who attack or kill Israelis. The houses are destroyed by explosives now, but first it was bulldozers, and now that is what Yogi was doing in UP.
Yogi Baba. Creepy Creative Peep says, Adiji, what will happen to economies now? There's something to worry about India and US. Yeah, well, that's part of war, and it's how kind of the world kind of functions. That's the problem with the game. But in any case, Gabriel Saab, any final thing that you'd like to say before we sign off, and we will catch up with you in the day to get some more updates as to what is happening and as to what the mood of the Israeli people are. But any final words to all of us?
I want to say thank you to all our audience in India for your prayers, for your channel Adi, for bringing the truth. Okay, as I told you, there are so many people who hate us. They don't even know what Israel is, and still they hate us. But a channel like yours, as you said, in intelligence, you don't take anything at face value. You double check it, triple check it. So if you say even if Israel is wrong, I again say I believe you. So
Yeah, mistakes
believe in
mistakes
channels.
happen during
Don't
war.
believe the media. Don't believe the media. There's no need for panic. Adi is giving good information. I will also update Adi what is going on in Israel. And no need to worry. India is strong. And in India,
Absolutely.
we appreciate those on social network helping Israel win this battle of narrative, because India is making a difference. And I hear read so many comments by Indians for Israel. So I want to say thank you through your channel to all our Indian friends, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. India is on our side. Adi is on our side. And you all, your prayers, and you are all on our side. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thanks, Gabriel, for the early morning update. I don't know what time is it there right now. We तो सुबह भी नहीं
We
हुई होगी.
started at 5 o'clock in Israeli time.
So you can imagine, guys.
5:30, sorry.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Shubhra ji, for this contribution. Thank you so much, Gabriel, for spending the time. I will we will stay in touch. Let's try and see what's happening. We will keep in touch, guys. Thanks so much for joining in. We had, by the way, 3,200 people watching this particular show. So people are concerned as to what is happening, right? On that note, guys, thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and Shalom Israel.
Jai Hind, Jai Israel.